The College Admissions Mentors for Peers in the Philippines, or CAMP, was established last year to help graduating high school students prepare for their college education. The nonprofit student organization was established with the hope of mentoring other students, especially those who want to find opportunities to study abroad. We invited in the studio one of CAMP's founders and member of the executive team, Michi Ferreol, and Christopher D., the head of business and marketing. Hi, Michi, and hi, Christopher. Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Did I get it right? Michi, you were a Filipino scholar for the International School of Manila.
I was, yeah.
Okay, was this the reason why you thought of coming up with this mentoring program?
Definitely. I think one of the reasons that we decided to come up with Camp Philippines in general was to make sure that the opportunities that we got at the international school were also given to local high school students.
So camp basically is for those who wish to study abroad or to international schools in the region or in the Philippines, is that right?
Yes, so we actually focus on mentoring for colleges that are in the US, in the UK, in Singapore, basically all over the world outside of Philippine shores.
I understand if you don't go to an international school here in high school, you're not prepared for, let's say, to take the SATs in the US. So is this the kind of training that you do? You prepare them to take the kind of entrance exam that they need to prepare for, depending on the school that they want to go to?
One thing that we emphasize is that the admissions process outside the Philippines is not solely based on an exam. It's more than just the SAT. The schools consider the essays, the extracurriculars, and other elements of the application that we help the students with.
At the same time, though, we do help with SATs, with essays. Basically, the mentors make sure that the student is guided through each portion of the application, and so that even their interviews and even their essays are helped with as well.
And how many students usually apply and are interested to go study abroad?
So this year we have over 150 mentees in the program, and it's only our second year. Last year in our inaugural program we also had around 100 plus mentees, and we have a conference coming up this Saturday that actually has over 300 applicants and registrants. So
with the over 100 mentees for last year, how many of them were able to enter colleges in the United States?
We had a very good year. We had around 58 acceptances, or over 60 acceptances to over 30 universities all over the world. Some of our most successful mentees are actually going to big schools like Princeton, University of Pennsylvania, New York University, and universities like that. So.
Okay, and these are not scholarships or exchange students. These are just general students who just want to go study abroad. Am I correct?
Actually, we have those students who are also regular admits, but we also have students who got scholarships. So one of my mentees, for example, got the scholarship to the Wesleyan University in Connecticut. She got the Freeman Asian Scholarship, which means that her tuition is paid for, all the 4 years are paid for. So we actually try to help students to receive those scholarships and find that financial aid as well.
That's great.
So for those who wish to study abroad, what are the things that they have to know, or how should they make their decision?
It's very important to learn how to choose schools. There are over 4,000 accredited universities in the United States alone, and students need to narrow that list down to, say, 5 or 10. They have to consider financial aid availability, they have to consider majors, location, diversity, so many things like that when making choices. And then they have to get in, and then they have to get the aid. And what CAMP hopes to do is to help students throughout that process.
I understand that per university they have their own specialization. So those are the things you can also help them with to choose in particular what would best fit them based on their skills or their expertise. Is that it, right?
We actually focus on making sure that the students have reach universities, meaning the universities that they really, really dream of, or the schools that are relatively hard to get into, and then their target schools, so the schools that they're sure they have a better chance of getting into as well.
Okay. What type of students would make good candidates for this program?
We actually don't discriminate on any student who wants to apply abroad at all. We want to make sure that it's equalized across all the schools and across all types of students, because we believe that if you really want to, you can definitely get in. We always tell our mentees that they need grit or passion for it, and that's the way they get it. But we do wish to get students abroad are the ones who prepare for it or who think they're ready for it, because leaving home is a very big ordeal that only a few students are ready to face. So we help our students think about whether it's actually the right choice for them.
This camp, I think, getting into a college, one of the most important things is preparing for the entrance exam, correct? And like I said, entrance exams abroad, you really have to study for. Do you do training for them to prepare for these exams?
We actually do hold several free training sessions. Last year we held an SAT boot camp, playing on the name of camp, where we had over 40 students and we gave them a free workshop. I taught the class, Michi co-taught the class. This year for our conference, we also are doing another workshop focused on the SAT, where we train students, teach them techniques, things that we used ourselves when we were taking the test.
Okay. And is it free of charge?
It's free. Everything that camp does is free.
Yeah, we try to do everything completely pro bono because we want to make sure that socioeconomic background or status is not a hindrance to being able to apply abroad. So that's why we actually are very, very grateful to the people who have decided to participate and also help us with it. So.
How can one join the camp?
Everything is done online. For students who want to be mentees from the many free mentors of camp, there's an online application that mirrors the Common App, where we accept everyone, but we ask detailed questions to get a better understanding of who they are as students, so that we can pair them with a better mentor, with a more appropriate mentor.
Is this a way of, are you trying to give back to the community? Was this, did people help you when you wanted to do
Study
this
abroad?
yourself back then?
Right, definitely. Like for me, a couple of my guidance counselors were so helpful. When I needed my essays to be read over, my parents were there, my older siblings or ates or kuyas were there to help us as well. We just got a lot of help because we both came from schools that would be considered already geared towards thinking about colleges abroad. So International School Manila, and so Chris went to a high school in Vancouver where people already thought of applying to colleges abroad. So we want to help local school students be in the same frame of mindset as well.
Again, lastly, what's the one thing you would like to tell those who wish to study abroad?
It's possible for everyone. It requires grit, it requires passion and dedication, but I think we are proof that anyone can do it.
Okay.
Great.
Thank you so much for joining us
you
this
so
morning. Michi Ferreol, she's the camp, one of the campus founders and a member of the executive team, and of course, Mr. Christopher D, the head of business and marketing for camp. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much for having us.